that screw face at that rocker well, he just ain't working. Sorry, brethren, I'm Buzz Lightyear and you come like we now. Look at my man bigging up his chest. Come like man's trying to grow some rest. Stop that before you get an arch. I don't know who my man's trying to impress. From day when I said I was serious, but nobody took me serious. But then I go to the raves and I spit in the raves and I spit in the face for the disrespect. I am serious. Boy, better know I'm serious. Jamie don't take no shit. Boy, that don't like Jamie, listen up, cause Joe tried to jack me, where is he? Alex tried to bite me, where is he? Jay wants to clash me, where is he?
Okay.
Dominic diss me, where is he? Labels wanna sign me,
There we
where
go.
are they? Pussies wanna rush me, where are they?
Oh, we should be live.
Can't clash me, be serious. Name your Nike dunks, blood. I ain't gonna shut. Yo, yeah. People hot day and ting. Hang tight the crew. Believe. Yo, you think you're dirty, but right now bossman's flow that's marky. Man, I told them talk about marky. So right we like you wicked like Sharky. You better know that boss I make darky. Come cross me and survive that's lucky. You better know that boss I make darky. Come cross me and survive that's lucky. Yo, them can't walk the like me. Them can't talk the like me. Big brother man, boss and birdie. I see you but you can't see me. Them can't walk the like me. Them can't talk the like me. Big bad man, boss man, birdie. I see you but you can't see me yet. When the gas roll me, more time I'm busy. Because I have enough cap on the Lizzie. Word don't bubble, no it's not busy. Nobody bait up the phone line for shizzy. Don't chat fuck with on my Lizzie. Nobody say scar, say skizzy. Done with the bees, rude boy, it's busy. New link got what we call him busy. When the gas roll me, more time I'm angry. Because I have problems with my family. My shop works so my mom can't stand me. At least man didn't go to be a pansy. Probably can't walk the walk in the Bambi. Me not deal with the war like Gandhi. Me not deal with the war like Gandhi. Come with the trigger man's handy.
Alright, this live stream. Just gonna quickly go through my watch list, and if people hop in and have requests or questions about the chart, I will answer them, and then we'll go on from there. GB, you're gonna trade Nasdaq? No, I'm not gonna trade Nasdaq right now. I can take a quick peek at it with New York, but I'm not really gonna trade Nasdaq today. Tomorrow is a new day for me. I have to pass some new e-falls tomorrow or this week, next week, whatever, but today's not the day where I'm gonna trade Nasdaq. Do you trade Nasdaq normally, GB? I guess so if you asked the question, but maybe you're trying to get into Nasdaq. Yes, I do. Great, man. How's Nasdaq treating? Has been treating you, I must say. You're trading with your own money or prop firm?
I've learned that mindset is a skill. 90% discipline and 10% thrill. You can miss greatness by the skin of your teeth. Can't be weak to survival, just like beer grills. Challenging times with a smile on my face. I make movements even in the worst case. Still like Shakespeare, that's paper and quill with an iPhone.
Oh, nice, man. Good to have you here. You've never been in the stream, or you never have said anything. Where you're from? I'm from the Netherlands. You can hear that probably. we Dutchmen a lot of the times have a very thick accent on our English. I try to hide it, but I don't think I can. Yeah, man. Prop firms, do you have some past EFALs already, or just in the EFAL phase still?
I'm just living my life right now. I'm not trying to be countercultural. Hey, but sometimes there's counter. When they built up a culture that creates monsters, I'm not gonna bow to the nonsense. It's not conspiracy, it's literally among us. Your ego belongs on stage, don't live your life pompous. Perspective changes, things take shape like that's not square, it's a rhombus. Was building consistently my career, then I 180. Now these labels wanna try angle with me. Yoshimitsu wanna I've taken some L's, but this ain't no
You're
game,
also
man.
from the cool, man.
You could only take someone that's
I
far
passed an
from
account
yourself.
last week finally, but blew it by not following my rules. Okay, yeah, well that happens. I know how it is. And trust me, later on you're still gonna blow e-falls. It's part, I mean fundeds, I must say. You're gonna blow fundeds here and there. It's part of the game. But in the long run, it's it's a game of compounding, so you don't have just one account you rely on. You want to have like 10 accounts. So then it doesn't really matter. If you blow one up, you just get a new e-file and then pass it and go on. You usually trade, yeah, I usually trade NQ, but today I'm just gonna focus on crypto. Then tomorrow is another day. I had to deal with some other stuff, and I'm not really in the state of mind to do some scalping on NQ today. So then I'm just gonna avoid it and not make any stupid mistakes that I'm gonna regret later on. It's a long-term game, so I'm not gonna force myself into certain positions and make stupid mistakes. But yeah, usually on a daily basis, every day on funded accounts. Nice discipline. It takes some time to get behind that discipline. Sometimes you have to accept that not trading is also trading, right? Discipline is the most important thing, but it can also be a bit of a downfall to not trade sometimes. That has been a problem of me for a long time. Sometimes I still have that problem that I don't take trades because, yeah, I'm just wanting to be too safe sometimes. But everybody has its flaws, right? Yeah, our model it's a bit different than on crypto. It's a bit more smart money for value gaps, more breaker blocks as well. Yeah, I would say smart money concepts, really. TCT, what ICT, ICT concepts as well. It's a bit of a mix of everything, but everything comes down to price action, like on crypto as well. Price action is main. Yeah, ICT, MMXM, it's fine. It works. It works really good. I use it all as well, so I can highly recommend it. But as I said, I combine it with some other stuff. But no, that's a really good way to use it. Absolutely. We can take a quick peek. I haven't even looked at it today. Looks like we're not gonna put in a really bad high here. We're also close towards. Well, we have been down for a while right now after putting in this stop and grabbing some liquidity. When was this? Last week Friday already. Oh yeah, last week Friday we bounced on a pretty good level, took out the strong liquidity point, and from there, well, this is a good bottom. Nice lows, good body closes, and from there we have been trading higher. But we're getting close towards the important high to gain, because if we're gonna look at the structure, this was our last high that pushed us through towards a new low. So this is the high for higher time frame upside to get all this liquidity on the highs. This is really the high to gain. If we're not gonna do that, then of course we can go lower from here. This was a big struggle point for me. You can see the BPR. We try to use it to go higher. We fill a really aggressive close below. Oh, I think this was Monday. Yeah, Monday we got the rejection from it. Tuesday the follow through, but put in a higher low and a new higher high. So if we want to go lower and can still manage to gain this high, this is the place to do it. But gaining this 4-hour BPR already gets a bit stronger in combination with just holding this right now. We can zoom in a little bit and see what's happening there. Okay, this is not bad. I think some sort of a data candle, I don't know. I took that. Yes, took that big high, but the Q not yet. I think it's last week or yesterday. Oh, wait, really? Let me have a look. Oh, damn, yeah, okay, that's a big. So also this one. This. So you have an SMT all the way over here. I must say, sometimes with big divergence like this, short term it can give us some downside, But right now we have been trading higher, right? So this is pretty much the box you want to hold to go higher from. So yeah, we can expect some downside if we're not ready to take this high. But this SMT, of course it is speculation, it can do so. But an SMT like this can also be a magnet for the Nasdaq to take it out. Because our local trend is pretty strong, if we forget what is happening here. This is pretty strong. It's not like we're grinding up, leaving behind a lot of liquidity. No, we have really strong moves up. So this can also mean, okay, yes, ES took the high, but NQ can follow through. But for that, we first have to gain this high, and then we're pretty close to this one already. So of course, you have to look at it in a bearish fashion right now, but out of experience, it can also work as a magnet. But it's a big SMT for sure. In combination with, if we're gonna get a bearish close on a 4-hour here, it can get this can be a really nice high that can bring us lower. I mean, what are levels to look at? We have tested this back. I mean, sure, this is a pretty good level to look at. Around the 25k level. Surprise, surprise. How long have you been trading? Like trading in general or Nasdaq? Because trading crypto and Nasdaq is a big difference. Nasdaq full-time, like now a year exactly, like really full-time trading Nasdaq. And crypto, I started in 2020, then I had a break, 21 again, then a break. It was on and off for, well, let's say 3 years, and like now full-time, almost 3 years as well. So yeah. Because most people say that's when they get profitable. What do you mean? Most people say that's when they get profitable. What do you mean with when? Oh, you followed your plan. Whoa, I didn't see the whole text. And can I ask how long after you followed your plan? Let me think. In the beginning, I started with support and resistance, RSI divergence. I even used for value gaps. That was where I started with, maybe like trend lights, etc. That's where my journey started. And I really discovered price action, supply, demand, liquidity, all that stuff. Range trading eventually, like range trading for, what can I say, maybe 2 years already. I don't really know exactly, but say 1.5, 2 years. That's when my trading really exploded, when I started using Wyckoff and range trading. So let's say for like 2 years. But I must say, a plan and rules is not the basic foundation of becoming profitable. Of course, following it is really important, but that is where a big problem comes in for a lot of people. If you are trading alone and have to listen to what you teach yourself and tell yourself, like if you take a stop loss, there's a reason for that stop loss. 80-90% of the times, not always, but there's most of the times a good reason for your stop loss. But you have to convince yourself that was the problem, and then you have to adapt on it. And that is where people slow down in their process. I think I have grown really fast and quickly because of the people that taught me this. I had 2 really good mentors, so yeah, that helps a lot. Like, then you can discuss the markets with them on a daily basis. You can learn from them their mistakes, and if you make mistakes, you can how do I say it? You can discuss it with them and better learn from it, because it's not your own mind that confirms your mistake, but So like noticing your mistakes and learning from them. I think losing money, taking stop losses is the most important thing. It sounds really stupid, but it is. Because if you're not gonna take stop losses and just instantly get lucky and have like a 20 winning streak and just keep pumping up your risk and going all in on every trade, etc. Of course that can go good for a while if you're really lucky, but in the long term that's not gonna give you anything. In the long term, the things that are gonna give you something are your stop losses, because that is where you discover errors in your strategy or in your mindset, discipline, whatever. Because most of the times it's not your strategy that's wrong, because there are thousands of strategies out there and they can all work. It's just how you implement them when reading the charts. I can take a look at this and think, okay, I have to do this and this and this in this way, and then eventually when the moment comes where I have to take the decision, I don't take the decision, or I take the decision but all of a sudden I have 5% risk instead of 1%, or I don't move my stop loss or don't take profit. I think that is where most people go wrong in trading or becoming profitable. So yeah, it's I know where you're getting from with like following your plan is the basic of becoming profitable. Sure, it's really important, but it's also confirmation on your plan, right? Because as I said before, right now you are the only person that confirms your plan. But yeah, it just takes it a bit longer, because then you are gonna probably take more stop losses, and from their stop losses you're gonna learn for yourself. But yeah, doing this alone, it's gonna take longer. That's just how it works. Yes, I struggle sometimes with entering too early or not looking at the big picture and the line time frames. Like for example, focusing too much on the bullish scenario, and that makes me, yeah, I know, I've been there. Sometimes I still have. It's not that I forget the other scenario. It's just that I'm too quick. I sometimes still have the, not like the urge. That's a bad word, but I sometimes think, oh, I have to be ready because otherwise price is gone and I miss the trade. So then I'm in too early, while price can spend a little more longer on where it is and then get a better entry if I wait for like a half hour or an hour. It's not always the case, of course, but sometimes, yeah, patience is a really big thing for a lot of traders, because we have FOMO, right? You think, oh, right now we have taken out this liquidity point, we're in a demand, we have this local range with 2 deviations, we tapped extreme demand, okay, let's go. But you don't look at the USDT dominance, you don't look at the total, you don't look at the other confluence, or maybe, oh, there's still a supply that is unmitigated on the 5 minute, which can bring us towards the low again, and from there we can go higher. General problems, man. But the best part is you know what you struggle with, and for a lot of traders that's also a problem. Well, traders, analysts, how you can say it, beginners, they do something, they make a mistake, and they don't understand where it comes from. Oh, you already have figured out what your problem is. If you journal, you can look back at your journal and take action based on it. Be right back in 5 minutes. Yeah, sure, man. I'm gonna go over some crypto because that was the whole idea. Bitcoin. If there are people in here with some chart requests, put them in. I'm ready for them. And then otherwise, I'm just gonna take a look at Bitcoin, analyze this. If you are in the Discord, you know we've been talking about the bearish Bitcoin for a long time. It wasn't confirmed until, was that last week? 2 weeks ago? Last week? 2 weeks ago in November, we finally got the break towards the downside, indicating it's not really a Wyckoff distribution, it's more of a power of 3. Which right now is bringing us towards the technical target, being the 74 almost and a half K mark. You can clearly see this is a beautiful power of 3 model. Of course, if we're gonna get bullish signs in combination with USDT dominance completing its accumulation right here at the range high, we can get some upside earlier than that technical target, sure, but right now we're eyeing that level. Couple of reasons. There still is a really nice demand left open below that level that we can tap into. That demand got from this accumulation after taking out pretty much all this liquidity, and from there we started blowing up on Bitcoin. So that's a pretty interesting demand to tap into if we want to come back to that level and go higher from there. Right now locally we already are in a nice demand. We also got some upside, pretty nice low we've put in here, but we are leaving behind, I think, a bit too much liquidity for us to already get some upside. There's also not really a higher time frame accumulation going. If this range gets confirmed when we tap the EQ right here, maybe we can get that, tapping into this unmitigated demand below, sure. Then we don't have to go towards that 74,457 mark, but right now we're eyeing it. Apart from that, the trend is still down. We have not broken anything towards the upside yet. This is our last structure pool that brought us towards a new low. So this is our high to gain. This whole structure pool is also a supply where we can reject from. I have indicated it by arrow, so don't have a whole red zone in my chart. And this is the refined zone we still have left open. But from here we can once again get a maybe even a distribution in this range. In the Discord I pointed out this range. It is a range, this one right here. We also already should have a deviation then. But looking at how price moves, this is a bit more of a cleaner range, because yes, this is a range, but look at how we move. It's not really sideways price action. It was a down and it was an up. So it was a higher high, higher low, and then a higher high. This is a high, this is a low, and right now we're ranging in between the range high and the range low. A bit more of a cleaner range. We're holding support right now. If we go on a lower time frame, you can see if we were still really strongly bearish in this trend, this was the supply that would have brought us towards a new low. As you can see, price tries to push us down. They fail, and from there we started going higher. So this is a really interesting, we call it a breaker block, but just general resistance and support zone. And in there we have created this mid time frame range and this lower time frame range. I'm more looking at this higher time frame range. Why this range, lower time frame range, is drawn from low to high, because we have broken towards the upside and making higher highs and higher lows. So then you draw your range from low to high. We have deviated the high. So if we are gonna get confirmations in confluence with the USDT dominance that we can get a distribution here, sure. But for that, we have to build up some more liquidity than we are doing right now, because yeah, what are you gonna target? This is gonna be your first target. Well, we are trending up right now, and we still have a range high to tap, to take out, etc., etc. So then I have to wait on what has been created at that range high, but this is the main range I'm watching right now. Locally speaking, we were going down for the day, but we can maybe see some upside after taking out this liquidity. Right now gaining your high, so sure. What can be places to go higher from? Of course, from this high that you just gained, you can go higher from. This demand. If we are gonna get lower time frame signs, you can go higher. Yeah, maybe we can go higher, because as I said, still range high intact. building up some liquidity. But it's a bit of, yeah, it's compressing also a little bit right here. As you can see, building higher lows and lower highs. So I'm just waiting on a liquidity hunt on either the lows or the highs, and look from there. I'm not gonna mess around in the middle of the lower time frame range and the higher time frame range. Price is not really performing well in those scenarios. Ethereum tapped into this supply. Probably you can clearly see it on the 50-minute right here. Last pullback before breaking below this low. This is the bigger pullback, bit of a more refined zone. Ethereum has a lot of left behind liquidity right here. That's also why this supply can be interesting to go lower from. But right now, looking at our trend, this is our high to hold. So if we want to go down, maybe towards all this liquidity right here, we also have a big unmitigated demand right there, also indicated by the arrow right here, where we can go higher from, in combination with Bitcoin that can still go lower as well. Can be an interesting level. So then, following this trend we have right now, just gonna put in the general market structure. This is your last high. Holding this high, we can expect some downside from here. We're also leaving behind a lot of liquidity on the lows, so the targets are there for shorts. Pretty nice range right now. Also messing around at the middle of the EQ, so don't have to look at anything else right now than a range high or range low.
And this is why I hate socializing. I wish it was just me, myself and I, but they say that no man is an island. But from where I stand, all I see is ocean, sky and a horizon. He saw the abyss looking in my eyes then. We went soul searching, but we can't find them. I ain't for the bitching, I ain't for the crying. Never seen the peak of a mountain that I can't climb yet. I do it different, I'm unique, I'm special, but I couldn't do shit without the help of a select few. Who want test the
yeah, just a bit on the same story as Bitcoin. Just gonna wait on this. Let's look at our to-do list.
And if I made a mil, I'll spend 999 grand on some better weed.
AFX holding some support on this level, it looks like. Yeah.
Because when your heart made of stone and a mind full of gold,
Your last price action before you got a crazy pump towards the upside, so logical that we're holding support here right now. Let me get rid of some things right here. What is this?
Yo, if you say that I probably have and I have spent all that I have on the hash, know that I shouldn't be behind the
Clean
bush,
chart,
I made
clean
like
mind.
Richard Hammond
Okay,
and crash.
there we go.
His girlfriend tried to put me for chat. I just bent her over the sink. He said that she wasn't a slag. I said we ain't doing anything. Think that you haven't, you shouldn't have think. I'm that guy pulled up to the party that they said you shouldn't have bring. They just hate he's doing his thing. Love my life, I gotta survive. You'll do anything when you're on the brink. So I'm gonna lie and you're gonna die. Who's coming to
This
me
is
first, you in
insane.
the ring. Got a death wish and names on the list and a heart in a box with Davy Joneses. Mash up the pum pum once, then I mash
A
up the
lot
pum
of
pum
liquidity
twice.
on the highs on AFX as well over here and over here. The down moves aren't as exponential as on a Bitcoin and an Ethereum. Like, as you can see, the down moves are really rapid and big. You're not leaving behind any liquidity. It's just all in balance, indicating that you're really strong towards the bearish side. But on AFX, it's, yeah, this is just leaving behind liquidity on the way down. And if it looked like you were gonna leave behind some imbalance, you came up again, creating new liquidity. So you're just collecting it on the highs. So AVEX can be an interesting thing if, well, the PO3 on Bitcoin is over and we can get more general bullish because market makers have filled up cheap positions because Bitcoin at 80k or maybe even 74k is cheap right now. Then yeah, AVEX can be interesting to look at for some upside with what we have left behind. Right now, no reason for upside at all. Let's see what this supply is. Alright, that's this candle, sure. Combination with this low. Okay. Not not the cleanest price action on AVEX the last days, as you can see. Looks a bit dead. Volume is not as high as it normally is as well.
It's time. I sharpened my axe for years. That's why they called it a grind. When it came to the war, I was primed. In a battle of naysayers and negative words, I had to battle for half a day. Yeah, felt like the purge. Cleansing toxins, rid myself of the darkest doctrine. Spin top shelf to the labels, watching bins up shelf to the labels. Cool. There's a clean up on the aisle I'm in. They heard the flow that's
the supply to reject right now. If we are not gonna go lower from here, this is all liquidity. This is a supply that we can, with a quick sweep, tap into and go down from. Because if you want to keep your bearish trend, this is your high to hold. So then a quick sweep and not a open and a close above it is expected because you're bearish. So going down from here can be logical. If you look at the structure, we've already broken below a lower time frame low that brought us towards this high. You can also see right here, you try to continue your trend from this demand, you fill, leave open your high, internal break towards the downside, and you're just going lower. Okay, crazy. Some order filling right here, or profit taking, whatever it is. That means pretty big liquidity point.
We never saw it.
Bad 'em up once. If you wanna come and take man for a dunce, I've been on the grind for 100 months and I ain't stopped doing music not once. Bad 'em up once. If you wanna come and take man for a dunce, I've been on the grind for 100 months and I ain't stopped doing music not once. See, the bars are right, they're like scriptures. I'm famous and everybody takes pictures. I had faith since Dex and
I mean, this is just all so ugly on AVEX. Losing this level right here means that you're gonna take out all this stuff because there's not really anything to hold support in it apart from this big demand you bounced from earlier. But it wouldn't be a weird thing to clean up all this mess left behind and go towards the demand we have right here. Maybe even the refined zone, you never know, but it's not looking all too good on AVEX. Not really a range right here we can use right now, so yeah, I'm not gonna add in any more scenarios on this. Just gonna have to be patient. I know I've done these, but still wanna take a look at them. There we go. Render tapped it to a refined zone. Got a reaction from there. Of course, in combination with taking out this low. It was a crazy pump on AFEX all of a sudden. it was pretty logical with what was left behind, but after that you can see, because you're still bearish, you're just gonna continue your trend. Once again, leaving behind a lot of liquidity, which is logical because a lot of people start buying here, so the buying power is really strong and price struggles to sell against it, so then you're just gonna get the grind down, leaving behind lots and lots of liquidity. But you immediately lost your low, indicating there's not really any market maker involvement anymore, or hasn't been at all. Because if they were positioned here, they of course want to protect their positions, or they have already cashed out and they're gone, so they don't care what happens at this low. And yeah, from now you're once again down until proven otherwise. This is your high to gain.
Yo, check one, check two. Wanna rob me? Hold tight you. Open a boot. Whack man up, go home, play Xbox, drink Typhoon. Bare waist man wanna diss my tune. Same waist man wanna live in my shoes. See me spitting bare deep bars on YouTube. Now they wanna try to diss me, but you don't know me though. Heard my bars on the Roll Deep show. Now I'm so much better like Snacky though.
This is your big demand you're holding right now. For this local uptrend we've put in, this is your low to hold. If you're gonna lose this low, we can look towards a level lower on render. Render already is really low, maybe even close towards all-time lows. Bybit has a later listing. I think Binance is the best. Yeah, really close towards all-time lows. So what is there to hold? This, of course. Trading gauge. Ah, kooi is vertrokken. Why is that, mate? Is your ill so bad? Or your flu, how do you call it? Flu is a better word. Trading gauge down bad. But still, he is tuning into the live stream to look at what the Chartsmith is doing. Of course he is. You don't know me, but you act like you know me. I can't even tell the time when it's rolly. Back when my money was low and I sold weed, I had to go out and get it with broski. Back when I was ducking low from the police, I had to look up, I ain't even holy. Hey, back then, hoes in my crep, I was broke G. Back then, I was on my lonelies. Back then, Cali what I smoked from back then. You was getting smoked. I mean, there's not really any unmitigated zone left on a coin like Render at this all-time lows, but sure something to look at if you're gonna go lower from here and lose this level. Just resting in bed, hopefully tomorrow a bit better so I can be behind the PC. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. But then it's out of your system. You're all powered up again and have some fresh new energy to work with. That's just how your body works. Monthly, or I mean, one of the 2 yearly maintenance. He can still laugh. Beautiful. But AFEX, yeah, also higher time frame down, leaving behind liquidity on the lows in a supply that can bring us lower. range build, such as watching this range on either a distribution, maybe an accumulation if we're gonna leave open this low. And we don't have to do anything with this range as well, because we can still go higher, go all the way towards here, tap into this supply and build something from there. We just have to wait, but this is the information we have right now. Let's see, is there a better refined zone? Sure.
Dressed well and made good music. I just made a ting, jealous of my skin smoothness. If it weren't just Sam used, then they knew it was probably dirt shoes that I come through with. Trying to do shit, fuck a blue tick. Talk to me like a human, cause I ain't stupid. I don't care who you are or who you're cool with.
After the big moves from last week and the week before, it's logical that we're getting some ranging price action right now. So patience. Maybe we're gonna come across an alt that that looks interesting. Oh damn! like ENA. Okay. This is interesting. We gained something. Does this mean something on your high time frame? No, not really, because you can still go down between this high and this low. So you can come into this supply and still make a lower high. But on your 4-hour trend right now, as you can see, you've broken it towards the upside and can maybe expect some new higher highs and higher lows until we have taken enough liquidity from the highs right here, maybe even all this, and then go lower. We're getting close towards an interesting supply. Made equals right now, so maybe we can get some last. Unfortunately, this has been used already. Doesn't mean we can't use it again, but unmitigated zones are just a bit more interesting. This is also just shitty liquidity, so nice manipulation from this demand. So still not a bad level. You could refine it a bit like this. Let's see, maybe it looks better on a 5-minute. It's just gonna be fishing for demands like this. Let's see, a lot of people start buying here. Take out those buyers. This demand, sure. Internally, your high to gain right here was this. Okay, sure, this is a bit of a refined zone. And this small block. But this is just a general whole zone that can be interesting to see some new upside from, if we still want to take out these equals and tap it to the supply. But if this was enough to continue your daily trend, put in that lower high and a lower low, sure, we can go down, but we'll see what happens at this liquidity point in this demand. And otherwise, take a look at this.
I was on base strip, now I write my own wage slip. You wanna build more. I was top set kid. Now look who I'm on set with. You wanna chat back your German clip? Little man ting like worm on stick. All you man don't know how I end up the show in less than an hour. You're a brick, you've never been shower. Little man ting like Megazord power. Fudge, you've never been wham. I'm a bad man, I've never been pranked.
Really nice market maker supply on Doge from a distribution going down. So that's a nice supply. Let's get rid of all this stuff right here. There we go. Otherwise, this supply is really nice, just like on ENA, above all the treasury liquidity left behind. What are we bouncing from on Doge right now? I mean, pretty obvious. We already used this to go higher. Using old lows as support. Find demand over here. Still left open. If we're not gonna manage to trade above this supply, we're not gonna touch this liquidity, so this can be a supply. If we're gonna break this internal uptrend we have right now towards the downside, then you can expect some shorts. But as you can see right now, we're trading higher, making higher highs and higher lows until we've taken out enough liquidity and then continue your higher time frame trend. This also is your, well, mid time frame 4-hour high to hold. If you want to go lower, same story as on ENA. If we're gonna manage to gain this doesn't mean anything for your high time frame trend, because your daily high to hold is all the way over here. It just means that you can expect some local upside. Well, maybe towards this supply, or on Doge's case towards this market maker supply right here, and then go lower, because there's just a lot of liquidity being left open on the highs that we're not gonna leave behind. Not any good demand that we're leaving behind on Doge as well. So if we're gonna put in the bearish, I mean, get into shorts, pretty quick move. Yeah, I'm trying to look for something with some bullish scenarios. Sure, this is a range. Maybe you can already get the distribution with the tap into this supply and then go lower from there. Time will tell. We can still go higher if we're gonna leave this trend intact. Not the cleanest. Just a general strong level, of course. If you look at this, you can understand why. I can't make any local bullish things out of this. Just wait on what happens in the supply or when we are gonna gain this. There's gonna be a lot in the patience is key folder, I guess so, with how price is moving. Okay, I see I haven't looked at Ondo in a while. This bigger zone we can get rid of because it tapped into the refined zones. Oh, I spotted them in a replay mode, I see. Oh, there they are. Didn't use this old lowest support. Let's get rid of all this. Locally lost his range.
Shut up, movement DVD, don't get twisted, representer. We got Scorcher, we got Rich, we got Gets. You don't know.
2 gain right now is here. Also, like all the other coins, a lot of shitty liquidity left behind with, surprise, surprise, a really nice supply we can tap into above it. I have to turn on some lights, it's getting really misty and dark outside. Give me a second. Okay. I mean, if we're gonna manage to gain this high, you already are in this liquidity, so then your move is probably gone. Locally looking. Okay, we already used this demand, sure. Let's look at this on a lower time frame and see what it looks. Normally I would do this, but because of this wick right here, this is your last buy to sell before breaking below your low. So then I'm gonna pick this whole move, and not only this. You can also refine it like this, but I'm just gonna do it like this. Pretty important liquidity high right here as well. Why? Well, you can see where it brought us. Big spike on that low we put in. Okay, that's the low that tapped into the refined zone. I thought maybe we took out the crash wick low, but the crash wick low is at pretty much all-time lows for Ondo. So. Sure, this is a range. Is it the cleanest? Hell no. This is not anything interesting to look for shorts. But if we're gonna go down, leave a range low intact, and grind our way towards the upside, building up a lot of liquidity, sure, then this can get interesting. But right now, wick, not the cleanest to look at for a distribution. Is the place logical for a distribution? No, also not really. Why? Well, like every other coin, internally we have this uptrend. We're not close towards any supply where we can reject from. Sure, we have this liquidity, but is this liquidity really that strong that it's gonna bring us lower? Maybe, but a supply is always more interesting. It's also just outside of your deviation limits, etc. So, meh. We're looking for a place where we can go higher from. I would say this low equals right now. Can be. Let me get rid of this. Let me put on some NEMs. Always good. There we go.
Yo, apart from bro when I ain't have bread, me I didn't hear from no one. I span that block on my pedal bike, and see no one. I was linking thoughts and dogging them out and hanging up cars like hold on. Kinda weird, I missed that.
If I would draw in a scenario on Ando right now,
Now I'm posted up trying to get it. She like, why you heartless? These hoes won't even get it. I got mad and I wanted to pull man up. If bros on go,
let me
don't
quickly
tempt
get rid of this range.
with man if you're gonna explain to me why you left me. I was beefing guys
This would be one.
funds. Your line is slow, don't claim you shot. Dress code black is so
This.
same tracksuit, yo, man's not hot. Couldn't even book no hotel, told my
Oops.
yeah that I know one spot.
Let's change it
Fed
like
on the
this.
block, let's relocate. If
With
shit gets
taking
hot.
out this liquidity low.
What you saying though, man? I don't hear from you no more, bro.
I would rather look at shorts in this supply than at this liquidity point, but it is still something you will have to keep an eye on. And otherwise, of course, this supply. Whoops. And otherwise, gaining this supply can be an interesting long scenario. But that are the places to look at for on Ando right now. Wait,
Mumsy didn't expect this life from me when I was an infant. She's saying I'm nonchalant, I'm glad you know how to listen. My neck went green back then, but now the VVs glisten. Apart from bro when I ain't have
maybe we can get a nice.
I span that block on my pedal bike and I didn't see no one. I was linking
Because look what we're leaving behind. In combination with what you are expecting right here. Maybe we can get a lower time frame accumulation starting your up move towards this liquidity point, or maybe even this liquidity point. You'll have to see. That can be interesting. Depends on how we act right here, but sure, definitely something to watch at, keep an eye on. There we go.
In this life I gotta get rich, I can't be broke. I was asking favors and everyone telling me
TAO.
wait till the tables turn. We'll see who stays or goes. I don't wanna be outside. I need
Nice.
someone that can keep me home.
Great POI. No brainer that you're gonna get the move from there.
How can I stop when I come this far? I smile outside.
Next level
I'm scarred. They only
right
see
here.
the results. The pain, they don't know the half. It's part of my life's redemption. I see it, I want it, we get it. I still walk
High
with
to
God,
gain
battling demons, and I can't let them.
right here.
They say that they love me, but I still don't know their intention. I'm trying to live my dream, they're offering peas, I don't want to sell it. She only
Oh
looked
damn,
at
our
me,
daily on
they say they
TAO.
won't give credit, the rumors spread like shotgun
Interesting.
can die for their
Um,
I couldn't care less if they like me.
this is your high to hold
Say what they want,
on
don't
the daily on TAO. Because from here you broke structure towards the downside. So you can expect a lower high and a lower low in between here. I mean a lower high. Low low is here of course. So yeah, then on the 12 hour, I would say this right here. Oops.
I give more than I ever get back. I got my brothers, I don't need friends. This sweet one don't know nothing about me, still gonna give man head. She want a brand new body that IG hoes don't got to her head. Free my bro, we locked in like dread. That shit don't hurt me though. Told bro we gotta stay on point.
No structure.
You man don't know who you are. Ban for ban with me or so.
Debatable structure, but this is just your cleanest structure high. Let's look at how it looks over there on the lower time frames. Not really any good supply built here. Why am I looking at that? Well, if you want to go lower and protect that high, most of the times they leave behind supply like this. But in this case, you don't have it. So then a high like that is easier to break because it's still all liquidity. It's all liquidity up until this high. And as you can see on the 4 hour, where's your resistance? There's none. There's no supply. I think this is our first point of resistance. We'll have to zoom in a bit. Mitigated. Mitigated.
I say how I feel, but I don't wanna overstep. I've been in the gym, was carrying weight on me, them times not counting reps. I hit my bro like, yo, what's good on the block? I ain't been there in a sec, I got that check. Do that shit in a minute and hit rock bottom again. Now I'm older, I don't eat chocolate still. Them M&M's coming to me, though, still tryna ball like I'm in the Premier League. Like back when I mentioned Rico, mentioned Crib, got a turbo smoke outside, cause I don't wanna lose my depot. Don't wanna lose my depot. Aye. Put your hand in the air if you ain't been broke in a minute. Now keep your hand in the air if you're trying to repent for sinning. Oh yeah, losing sleep just so I can keep on winning. Stat was small like Stewie, now my stat like Peter Griffin. Put your hand in the air if you ain't been broke.
Sure, right here, but how strong is it? Not really. If this would have been over here, it was stronger because it took out liquidity, indicating that there was manipulative behavior involved in creating that supply. So then it's gonna be more interesting. Right now it's just, it looks like a supply, but it's in the middle of nowhere, so it doesn't make sense, right? Same for this. So yeah, there's not really any strong things holding you back here. This is something I would join. This is crazy. What happened here? But apart from that, just liquidity. Long heaven, but we're gonna lose this level already. You can expect to go a bit lower. This is still left open. Yeah, definitely. So to continue this trend right here, it can be interesting to put in a high low there and go higher from there. But still, you're down. So watch this supply. It has been left unmitigated. To take out this liquidity, we're gonna require a lot of buying power. So I think you're gonna need some sort of an accumulation on the higher time frame. Of course, you don't have to if people are prepared to buy into it, but that can happen in this range when it's confirmed. It's not confirmed yet, but that can be something to watch. But for now, the scenarios to look at are this demand and this range for now, range supply. And if we're gonna manage to gain something or create some sort of local range with an accumulation or whatever, then we're gonna take a look at what's gonna happen in all this liquidity. And then we can go lower from this supply or this supply again, but yeah, this is what you can look at locally right now. Holding these lows can also already be an indication why it is at the high you had to gain to continue this trend. In combination with, if you look at the 1 hour, this is your trend. So on the 1 hour to keep being bullish, this is the move you want to hold towards the upside. And these are not bearish closes. This is just liquidity hunting. You need bodies open and close below the level before it's gonna get bearish. So this is still all fine, but it doesn't really indicate we're really strong, but we'll see. Just patience on those zones. XPL. XPL's down bad. This up move was really nice. Tapped into some left open supply. Also left behind a lot of liquidity. But from there we didn't stayed bullish from this demand we had. We tried, but we failed, and from there we've just been trading lower again. Volume picking up a bit, a bit, not really. But the volume still isn't bad, not at all, I would say. But the crash didn't do XPL any good, so. If you know, you know. Pretty clear supply above some liquidity equals right now. XPL already took out some nice local liquidity on the highs. If you want to continue this up move, this is your demand to do it from. Last resort right here. Not the cleanest, but let's put it in. Because if we are really eager to hold this low, we can do it from there. Otherwise, this is your zone to look at. I had to hold this all the way over here to gain, to hold, how you want to call it. Let's call it to gain. Yeah, not gonna make it any more complicated than it is on Plasma. This is pretty much it. Okay, next, Zach. Close to the range low. No, that's the equals. Yeah, Zach. I made a couple of videos about this coin. This coin is diabolical. The bottoms, sure, fine, look nice. The gains, sure, but the expansion, brother, insane. Insane. Every time I thought, okay, now finally, are we gonna get, because we were building some ranges, like right here, are we finally gonna get a distribution? Oh wow, we got a deviation. Maybe we can finally get a distribution. Nope, and price just pushes up again. But right now, for the first time since September, October, yeah, we must say October. For the first time since literally the 1st of October, Zcash has been ranging for a while now, almost for a whole month. So this can be interesting. It hasn't deviated the range high or the range low, but for sure we can get a distribution on this high. Why? I mean, isn't this overbought to you? Is Zcash really worth $780 at the high? I don't know. Also in combination with how we were coming up right here, you can see, I don't even have to say it, it's just all liquidity, also here locally. Making it interesting to trade towards. And we have seen a bit more weakness than normally. Sure, your trend is still this. This didn't brought you towards a new high, so this is not your low to hold. But this is. So yeah, you can still expect a higher low and a higher high. That doesn't mean that locally right now we can see some profit taking by the whales on Zcash, and then a push towards a leg lower. From there, see what happens. Right now, range high, range low, still intact. We have made equals on the lows, are in some demand. Let's just put in the refined zone. It looks like locally we're gonna lose this demand we have right now, which can mean we're gonna take out those equals. If we're gonna take out those equals, we can maybe go higher again. Where can we go to? this supply right here.
Brilliant mind and brilliant baby, mashed for the peas and covered in gravy. Some of this house is more than dangerous. Headshot do it like Jamie, German cargo, yellowish inside, outside, black like Thomas Delaney. Come to the bit, then I send them Elway, Manny, feeling like Folders, baby. Fuck this 10 like Sancho's enemy. Wanna go Hakkasan 2, not Tennessee. Was Bellamy, Bells was telling me, Mal just pour that Coke and Hennessy. Chocolate
Also makes it that we're gonna get this compression, and then also we can maybe get this compression. But we'll see what happens if we're gonna go lower from here. I would not really take any shorts on Zcash there. Why? Well, as I said, you can get into compressions there and locally then right here. What does that mean? In the compression you're building liquidity on both sides. Most of the times they take out liquidity on one side and then rotate towards the opposite side, as well as here. So stop losses are just you hit a stupid stop loss more often. So Zcash I'm not really paying any lower time frame attention to. I just wait on the bigger range. If you get nothing from it, sure, fine. I'm not gonna pay attention to it. Other than when we get a play from a compression, but that's also not the case yet. We can just go lower from here and then go higher again.
Yo, bro got black and white like MJ Caramel one. She bad, better than who? You mad? 1-2 stroking that back, bouncing back. You hear that clap, clap. You hear that clap, clap.
Hedera started eating a bit of the trend liquidity already, I see. Not looking all too bad, this coin. Sure, this can also be a demand apart from the bigger one. Why? Well, if you look at the structure on the 1 hour, last pullback that brought us towards a new low. Before we gained this high, this was the last pullback we made where the bulls started taking over. So this can be interesting to trade higher from. Right now we're also leaving behind a lot of liquidity on the highs again. Pretty logical because we've already took a bit of liquidity from all the trend liquidity. This is range. Deals, yeah, it's over there, sure. Sure, we can get a play out if it is. Why? Normally I would look at it when it is close to demand. It isn't right now, but it is close at the high that we had to gain for some upside. Let me quickly skip this. So this is still an interesting level to hold and continue your up move in the strongest way. Old highs is a really strong way to continue an uptrend. And in this case you can maybe get an accumulation on your extreme liquidity right here. Or your range low once again. Or maybe even this extreme demand. Is this used? Let's zoom in a bit later. This is not really clean demand. Sure, it is an order block. Sure, there was liquidity above it, but it's not really it. It's only there on a 50-minute as well, you know. So this can get interesting with the way we're coming down, building up all the liquidity, indicating that we're gonna need more from the lows. Well, is there any liquidity on the lows? No, not really. So we have to create our own liquidity on the lows and fuel up from there and go higher. So this is definitely an interesting scenario to look at. If you're never gonna get any confirmations on this, then you're gonna wait on this demand and look from there. But this is not bad. This is not bad at all right now. Let's put it in that list. It is also down bad, but the volume is higher than in July of 24, so that's not a bad sign for Pit. Because that means that people are still interested in this project even though it's down bad like this. I must say the chart also doesn't look all too bad. Okay, we lost that level. There's not really any demand to work with, so we just have to work with what we locally have. Same story as any other coin, left behind a lot of liquidity and down until proven otherwise. High to gain all the way over here. This whole zone is something that can keep us higher. You just don't want price to go below this low, because that push price above. So you really want to hold this low. Otherwise we can just make new all-time lows, well, apart from the crash wick. In this supply right now, a pretty important zone to gain. We can refine it a bit like this. If we're gonna manage to gain this, we can maybe look at this level. Right here. And right here. Sure, from there we can go lower. But that means there are new short opportunities. And apart from the short opportunities, if we're gonna gain this, we can once again go higher. Then look at this supply. So the potential in Pit is still there. It just has to build something. We have a range right now. So let's look what happens with that. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it any more complicated than it is right now. I mean, down until proven otherwise. To get some upside potential, you really have to gain this high. Because yes, gaining this is interesting, but you immediately get into other resistance, so doesn't make it easy. That means that this supply can give us maybe a distribution. Casper. Oh wow. I was looking for long scenarios on this one. As you can see, I also shared this in the Discord, I remember, but we never got a test back and we have just ripped away. So let's get rid of all this stuff. Bit of resistance from this, but not all. Really? Outperforming like crazy. This is profit taking. Really hard profit taking. But still, technical target can be this high. But we don't have to, because if we look at this trend, this also is our high to hold. So this can be enough, and we can go lower from there, because your trend is still down. Does it mean a quick sweep in this level and then a push down is still not gonna happen? But we can still go lower from our higher time frame trend looking. This 4-hour gain was just internal. But yeah, we can definitely go lower from there. If if we want to continue our upside, this big demand is a place to do it from. This refined zone. And otherwise I'm gonna look at shorts if we're gonna get it at this high to hold on the higher time frame we have. Yeah, man. That's pretty much it. Not gonna pay too much time to this. Every chart is pretty much the same story. Yes, to gain, but if you gain this is your high to hold on a high time frame, so we can just go lower again from there. Also leaving behind a lot of liquidity on the lows, indicating that a short from this supply can be pretty interesting. Sure, a range. Maybe we can already get the distribution from this, because as I said, leaving behind a lot of liquidity on the lows. If not, then this supply is something to look at. Not really anything bullish to look at. Only if this was unmitigated, then it would have been interesting to tap into, because of the equals and the local trend we have right now. But yeah, locally up until proven otherwise, mid time frame down until proven otherwise, and higher time frame down until proven otherwise. But the range to watch. Okay, ADA. Coming pretty close to the crash week low. Crazy. Debatable. Let's call it a liquidity hunt. For ADA, big demand zone we are in right now. More refined zones a bit lower. Definitely something I'm watching. Apart from that, locally, same story as every other chart. Is this a supply we may draw in? Maybe not, because we mitigated it over here. Definitely not. So goodbye.
don't care, we just blow money fast.
Yeah, this also high to gain. To take out all this liquidity, then this is the supply to watch for more downside. You can almost copy paste the drawings on every chart like this. Yeah. Range right now, also leaving behind a lot of liquidity on the lows. I prefer distributions at the supply, but if you locally want to do it, sure, who am I to question it? Let me quickly fix my chart a bit. There we go.
She want a big dog, I'm on a Frenchie. Back then when I got bread, I stretched it. Nowadays, man don't need to stress it. D&D don't call or text me. D&D don't call or text me. She want a big dog, I'm on a. She want a big dog, I'm on a Frenchie.
Supply to reject or to gain. Not really anything I'm looking at today. No trading day as we look at it right now. We just have to wait on price to develop new price action within the ranges we have right now. Okay, hit and run in the POI, I see. From the breaker block, nice price action. Yeah, Sui, this is still a POI for me to look at. This demand, this supply was something, but we already have used it. Doesn't mean that we still can get a short right here, because it was just a quick tap and run. We didn't really spend any time in the supply. And otherwise this demand for sure. Even though because of this wick, this right now is a structure low. If you want to hold something right now, it definitely is this low. Gain this for upside, also in combination with your local trend, downtrend we have right now. Brought us towards a new low. If you're gonna go above this, on Sui, you can expect a rotation towards this high, then this high, then this high, then this high. So right above our low to hold, a high to gain right here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, also quick hit and run. Okay, front ran the demand but took out the liquidity, meaning this is a new liquidity low.
This shit crazy.
If we want to hold this strength, nice demand to do it from. This has been vindicated, I think. You went in the store and copped it. I got it before they dropped it. Sweet one looking on tropic. You can't get near, just stop it. Aye, stop it. Good things come to the ones who wait. So tell me, babe, like what's the delay? She wanna post me all online. I'm bait now, so I can't show no face. I ain't dying for bread and girls. I'm trying to get rich. I was looking for some buys when we gained this level. I even wanted to be aggressive if we created something on this level, but yeah, you can see pretty quick move up towards all this liquidity. Couple of levels to look at. If we want to go lower,
Stop it, man. I know you're lying, man. It's not good for the health. Get your bread on, man.
this is your supply to do it from. And then from there, yeah, you could look because of this break towards the upside right here. And this is your low to hold right now. You can look for new upside in this demand. Maybe even a quick sweep of your low. And then create a new high from there. And if this was enough, tapping into that major supply, taking out that major liquidity point, then this of course is gonna be a short POI. So this chart isn't looking all too bad. It has a couple of interesting scenarios. The short scenario is interesting. The long scenario is interesting. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Also gonna go in that list.
The money, the mullah, the peat, the guap, my focus ain't on females. You man washed up seashells. I done you wrong, but I mean well. Know the truth, but act oblivious. Running it up to the goal, Vinicius. Talk on bro, get hit up imminently. Designer bags on her, not cheap. I feel like the shepherd, I just see sheep. Only problems I need is
XRP also outperforming a bit.
anyone try, then I get to crashing out, so no one can tell me chill. 30k on that out and still. Not just fiends, bros up in the
But still, this is your trend. So we can still expect a lower high and then a new lower low. The question is just where are we going to put this in? Get rid of all this. Doesn't look like this is the high we're gonna leave behind on XRP. Why? Well, look at the way we're coming down. Just looks like we're gonna get another leg up, maybe even into this liquidity and go lower from there. Yeah, this is just all liquidity. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on this demand on XRP. Nice. Objective broke out of the compression towards the upside. Didn't get a down move from there. Sometimes you are gonna get a down move, but of course rest of crypto was up as well. So then it's just gonna follow.
stay the ghost. I wanna stay low key. You love doing the most. She want my attention. Don't like being alone. I got a long way to go, but trust me, she hit different.
We are rejecting from this block a bit right now. Combination with this old low. And from there, it's just a big hole of nothing. And then you're gonna get towards the supply. Oh, what is this music? It's also right before your high to gain.
No one checked on me when I needed. So I just stack my bread, stay in my bag and not in my feelings. Overthink too much, I get distracted, start to deep it. I just deal with people exactly how they treat me. On the block ain't nothing but youths, trying to be bad and hoes that act up. I've been obsessed with money, I knew would get my stack up. I ain't lacking on my own, I got me, no backup. They talking on me, and none of it factual. Meanwhile, bro in a band, hoping Fed don't raid his yard.
Yeah, so if you want to continue this uptrend, definitely this demand is something to watch. Gonna go into the keep an eye. See what we form in there. Resistance from this block, but also this low, well, these lows, I must say. Yeah, let's see if we can manage to hold this trend, hold this low, and create some upside from this demand with taking out all the left open liquidity. And let's see where you can ride this. You can ride this at least to here, maybe even this supply and go lower from there. I instantly see a beautiful range. I have to go to the toilet real quick. So, there we go.
Yo, spotted a dime at the corner of my eye. She got enough man on the line, back just poking like a knife. Think she tryna get my line. Demon with the angel eyes. Maybe I'm hypnotized, but why am I thinking twice? Yo, 2-man step, I got my ting on me, so don't even try that shit. Make it clap like I won an award, like I'm sat at the Brits, bro in the trap, like a sim no O2, setting up shop in the Ritz. Before commitment issues, I was sat with bro, just planning a lick. Canada goose on me, shiesty one. When I go link that baddie, check my rear, just in case this bitch think she could drop that addy. Sweet one like my sugar is low, I think I need some candy. She keep on saying I wanna be down, go listen to Brandy. Spotted a dime at the corner of my eye. She got enough man on the line, back just poking like a knife. Think she tryna get my line. Demon with the angel eyes. Maybe I'm hypnotized, but why am I thinking twice? Yo.
We don't send them the addy. If they wanna come, then we send them a personal driver. I don't care if that bitch is a baddie, if I know that girl is a liar. She materialistic, I make her take this dick and work for designer. Said that she want 10k, but she ain't even worth it in Naira. I just spotted a dime, she decent, demon, she wanna sign the agreement. All of these bitches bookie, probably chatting to guys I'm beefing. They ain't got no morals, they see what I got and they think about teething. I had to kick this bitch out of telly cause she tried taking a pic of me sleeping. Jack boys wanna try trap me with a female and pray that I slip up. The young G's don't take my advice and stay out the way of the mix-up. She was shaking it on me and thought my nank poking and she thought I was bricked up. I'm telling these women that we do the tricking and none of these chicks can trick us. Try line man up, that's a myth. Security guard at the front and the back of the crib. I'm prang, look back when I jump out the van. 6 man crapped up in the back of the whip. If the car gets spun, bros back in the bin and I slipped up once, it won't happen again. If I was them, would've given it up. If I keep it a buck, I ain't rapping again.
Spotted a dime at the corner of my eye. She got enough man on the line, back just poking like a knife. Think she tryna get my line. demon with the angel eyes. Maybe I'm hypnotized, but why am I thinking twice? Yo.
She materialistic, I make her take this, can't work for designer. Said that she want 10k, but she ain't even worth it in Naira.
Yo, so many questions, who do I ask? Where do I go from here? What are you smoking? Ain't no average girl, my one top tier. What is it now? I stood on business and I made it clear. I'm over it now, you done all this to make me look weird. If it's you or me, that's peak on you. I'll be deep in life, but I try not to reflect on life while pre-interview. I've been lied to way too much, I don't even believe the truth. Aye, my vision was blurry and I didn't know how to clean it. I was happier when I was broke. Aye, it's an awkward feeling. My family know I ain't be myself. Some things that I gotta deal with.
Alright, let's finish this last 5 coins and wrap up this stream.
You'll probably say I changed. Aye, my closest friend tried to draw me out. Talk on me, that's word of mouth. Speak with chest, no need to shout. That shit gon' catch up. Someone's gonna get bored up. Why? Cause this shit don't add up. So many questions, who do I ask? Where do I go from here? What are you smoking? Ain't no average girl, my one top tier. What is it now? I stood on
Once
business.
again,
I made it clear.
speaks for
I'm over it
itself.
now. You done all this to make me look weird. Aye, you got a bone to pick with me. I feel like Piers Morgan. ETA on my trip. I said it already. You know I'm stalling. Yo, I feel like MJ now. I'm balling latest nights and early mornings. Aye, yo, when I bought her the bag, aye, didn't seem too surprised. It's expected from me. Not Yuki, you ain't that guy. Aye, you're just mad, you're broke. Yo, self-centered type. So many questions, who do I ask? Where do I go from here? What are you smoking? Ain't no average girl, my one top tier. What is it now? I stood on business and I made it clear. I'm over it now, you done all this to make me look weird. D&D uptown with a man, then bro hopped out, Leng one just grabbed them. She got a man but said I'm attractive. All this income, bro, and it's passive. Trust me, I've been outside, I'm active, real life. This ain't no acting, sexy fit.
Same story as all the other coins, pretty much. Creating some sort of range in the middle of this move, taking out some liquidity before all this strength liquidity right there. Yeah, we have to wait on scenarios that are gonna get created from this range. Otherwise, on Pepe we can still take out this low. Why? It didn't take out this high, so our general trend is still this low and this high, meaning that we can take out this low and go higher from there. Can be a nice scenario to look at, but then this range is gonna get less interesting for distributions. Maybe we can get an accumulation from it, but on the way we're coming down right now, not the most interesting scenario, but we'll see what happens. And otherwise we can just get a local play from the liquidity hunt right here in combination with the general trend we have right now.
Now I'm like Hulk Hogan. Smile, don't cry, pour Henny inside the snakes in the grass with pity and lies. Fake friends, what there, this really implies. I lost it, gained the Brazilian vibe. This crack keep drowning million slide. Take a civilian life, she game with the eyes at Newton, Law, that brain. You know you got brilliant mind. So many man incarcerated. That's all your dreams deflated. Don't forget about you know debating. That girl.
Well, I only have to zoom out like this. You understand this level and why you can long from here. And of course this level. Not gonna go too in depth on it. Leaving behind a lot of liquidity though. We are still not gaining this high. It's a 4-hour high to gain. And we need a 4-hour body open and close above this high before we have a uptrend internally. Once again on the daily, our high to hold is all the way over here. That's also why this supply is in there. It's also the supply that came from this compression we had. So this is gonna be a really interesting supply to look for shorts. Right now we have a local uptrend. So we can look at some demands. Oh, here they are. So if you want to continue this up move and eventually gonna take out this this high, we're gonna do it from here. And these are pretty much all the scenarios I'm eyeing right now on hype. This supply for shorts, this high time frame zone for longs, and this local zone for longs. That's it. Nice accumulation going on Aster. Already have taken out a lot of liquidity. Technical target is still this range high with the supply there. Apart from that, right now tapping into some demand. I see pretty nice demand. Nice bottom as well. So this is a good demand. You can also see a demand that originated this whole up move. So we can expect some sort of a reaction from that. If not, yeah, then you're gonna eat up all this liquidity and go towards this demand. So definitely an important level. After taking out all this liquidity to the left, tapping into the supply, we also got a bit more bearish, because if we look at our internal trend, we're making lower highs and lower lows. Until we have done enough. Well, it can be this. This is a range. Deviation 1, deviation 2, deviation 3. It's just the way that we came down right here. That doesn't make it all too interesting, because what are we gonna break? Nothing. There's nothing for us to break towards the upside. So, not really interesting to look at that. Big supply. Interesting. On the 4-hour your high isn't there, and on the 1 hour it is. Sure thing, buddy. Definitely supplies to watch to continue this this down move. And otherwise, sure, we can go all the way towards this high again, because of what we're doing on the lows here. But as I said, there's not really anything to break, so that makes it just a bit harder. Your return to zone just isn't there. There's no liquidity at all here, just resistance. After that, you're gonna get into liquidity, sure. But for that, you first have to gain this. But yeah, maybe we can get something locally right here, but that also doesn't look anything good. Want to look at shorts right here. If we want to continue this move, we want to do it with holding this low. Otherwise, let's see what this range brings us. Not gonna go too deep in the chart again because it's just the same as every other chart.
She don't say no, just yeah. Chains on man, I fuck, mates are wetter. Greedy, so I don't know no better. Mansion gated, you can't even enter. Them man, they're too tender. Girl, you the perfect mix, heaven center. Wanna go Turks? Get on a yacht and twerk.
Crazy volume in here.
Just me and a friend, we turn. Can't even act up with me, I know for sure that.
It's New York volume, but it's higher than normal. There was a big news event, wasn't there? Take a quick look at the Forex Factory. There was unemployment claims. No, that was already at 2:30. Okay.
So this shit crazy.
Yo, who's on what? Don't tempt me. Who's on what? Don't tempt me.
Yeah, and we can reject from this whole zone.
I'm up now, gotta accept it. I'm in the Euros, in a Bentley. Who's on what? Don't tempt me. Who's on what? Don't tempt me.
So if we want to get bullish, start gaining this again, and then look at the bearish scenario in this supply. Maybe some longs from here in combination with this bigger demand we are in right now. Maybe from this liquidity point, because on the, well, what is it, even 4 hour, on the 4 hour low to hold in your eternal trend is this. Of course a quick sweep is fine, but you really want to hold this low, otherwise we can go lower again, and that this can be an interesting supply. Okay, the last one. Okay, crazy. This is pretty ugly what is happening right here. If you have 12-hour candles like this and even a gap, hell no. Yeah, a lot of liquidity on the lows collected, higher time frame range. We already have a deviation right here. What can we do? We can go higher. We can also even take out the all-time high and deviate from there, because our deviation limit is all the way over here. We can also do it from our extreme. What is our extreme? This is our extreme liquidity, and right now in this range this is our extreme supply. There's not really any supply over there, so maybe we can get a Wyckoff model from this supply. A lower time frame distribution model in here is something I want, because it's such a high time frame range. This deviation, it's a monthly range. This deviation isn't to be seen on a monthly. The best scenario would be do this 2 months down, go a month up, another month up, and then make your deviation. So yeah, I want lower time frame models in this extreme supply. Same with this extreme liquidity. But we will see. It's such a high time frame model. Otherwise, this is demand to watch. And this still is interesting supply to watch, to go down from. So these are your two scenarios on XMR Monero right now. Not touching it right here in the middle of this swing move. So that's it. That is the whole watch list done. And that's also going to be this stream. Thank you all for being here. If you have watched this back and made it all the way to the end, you're a fucking legend. Alright, see you later. Ciao.